Am I the only one who remembers the Happy Reaper? Alright, so, naturally, this whole thing, this debacle with Diablo was quite big. I mean, the fake news NPC journalists have come straight out in full force, like they always have, of course, defending, whatever's going on and vilifying the gamers for their criticism or their dislike of a particular product. But why do I bring up the Happy Reaper? Well, it's simple. We'll go ahead and we'll watch this again.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No, it's a fully fledged Diablo experience on mobile, which everybody will get to play, and hopefully which will bring new heroes to Sanctuary, as well as welcoming our community back into it, and something we're very excited about.
And now, why is it important? Well, back in 2014, April 1st of 2014, Blizzard, in Blizzard fashion, had their own April Fool's joke, spanning across several of their titles. One of them happened to be Ascend to Victory with the Happy Reaper. The next chapter in Sanctuary's epic saga has been unveiled. Summon your sickles, put on your pointy hoods, and get ready for Happy Reaper, the definite Diablo experience coming soon to web and mobile. What is Happy Reaper, you ask? In Happy Reaper, players will take on the role of the Angel of Death, who's recently returned to Sanctuary with a vengeance. With a series of well-timed mouse clicks or finger taps, you'll skillfully guide through a network of ancient ruins to collect human souls and obliterate all puny Nephilim with your trusty death laser of doom. Easy, right? Wrong! Happy Reaper is probably the most challenging Blizzard game you'll ever play. It's incredibly difficult to learn and almost impossible to master, featuring highlights, among other things. So, why is that important to all this? Well, when you ask if this is an off-season April Fool's joke, the media, of course, is vilifying our hero over here as a douche, a dick. How dare he ask Blizzard something like that? Why would he do that? How dare he? They're just trying to reveal their mobile game. For all we know, this could have been Blizzard's take on best April Fool's jokes we ever played circa 2014. Here it is again. Yeah, it was a joke back then. It was a joke for a reason. Because it's mobile. Mobile sucks. I'm sorry. Any true gamer doesn't play primarily on mobile. Their whole thing of, well, we've all kind of been transitioning from playing PC games to mobile games. I'm so sorry. I don't know what has convinced you that is a viable platform. Seriously. I mean, come on. Not for a big game like Diablo, but anyway. I just wanted to get that out there because that was a big thing. But what we're here to talk about is Mark Kern. Who is Mark Kern? He previously was the producer, worked on Diablo 2. Also is currently working on other things right now. Still in the industry, not exactly with Blizzard anymore, but he had to throw in his 2 cents. Which is nice, honestly. It's somebody who's been there, who has known what the culture is like, who's worked with the teams in the past, and has sit there and been able to see how Blizzard themselves have changed over the years, from what they once was to what they are now. And of course, is commenting, and to be totally honest, I'm pretty sure I know the tweet that spawned the entire tirade that he kind of went on right afterwards, just from the first one, but let's go into it. So, he says, Blizzard gamers are not smugly entitled, nor are they toxic. And they most certainly are not mad about a mobile version of Diablo because they hate the women's. The craziest blue check theory I've seen so far. And he continues, since I was a producer on Diablo 2, a lot of people have asked me my thoughts on the whole Diablo Immortal fiasco. I hate to say it, but what you are seeing in Blizzard not understanding gamers anymore. There's nothing wrong with having a mobile version of Diablo. In fact, I would have wanted one as an option, but the way it was hinted at and presented, and the failure of Blizzard management to predict the backlash caught me by surprise. Blizzard used to be really gamer-driven. Blizzard coyly played up the Diablo hype with a good move, but failed to anticipate that their PC-based audience, and that's key right there, PC-based audience was going to accept, well, a PC-based announcement. And that, following all the hype up with a different product, is a huge bait-and-switch feeling. No kidding. I agree with all this. Anyway, continuing. Blizzard has said now that they are working on multiple Diablo products. They really should have dropped a teaser of their PC-based projects alongside their mobile announcements. If that's the case, but what is really telling is that this surprised them. They were expecting backlash, but they didn't have a plan for it. They didn't predict the wave. Any Diablo gamer could have simply told you what would happen if you asked. Blizzard never used to have to ask. Because it was made up of hardcore gamers from top to bottom. We used to say we were our own harshest audience for our games. I would have had a line of devs outside my door telling me this was a bad move. The fact that Blizzard was A, unprepared for this reaction, and B, had no plans to mitigate it, even knowing some of it was coming, is a great disappointment to me. It smacks of, yeah, well, suck it down. Sorry, J. Romero, wasn't your fault. This isn't a toxic gamer issue. It's not an entitlement issue. It's just bad PR handling and a bad culture on the part of Blizz. I'm sad to say, it's a culture that says, we know better, and it fits right in with, you think you don't, or you think you do, but you don't.
You think you do, but you don't.
Maybe you don't know better anymore, Blizzard. Maybe you really lost touch with gamers, and you are now in some billion-dollar-a-year ivory tower that needs some reflection on your part. Because that's one big business fail. Remember Nokia? Remember Blockbuster Video? Today's devs need to talk to gamers all the time. Game devs have gotten so big it's easy to lose touch. Many devs stop playing games as they start making them professionally. You need to make an effort to connect and tear down the corporate wall and get to know your audience. And I like how Blizzard isn't blaming their customers. Yet. But say they are passionate. That's pretty good so far, but an apology and a PC reveal would be better. They are busy with BlizzCon wind down, but I hope to see better responses after all this. As for the mainstream gaming journalists, they are blaming gamers, and so are a lot of know-nothing devs in mobile and indie. To them I say, be prepared to lose a lot of customers' money, because it's never right to blame your customers for your own PR blunders and learn nothing. And you know what? I totally agree with all that. I couldn't say it any better myself. That's what I was trying to get out, I guess, but I just don't have a way with words like he does. But that first tweet caught me for a second going, wait a second, where did that come from? Who? What? What theory? What blue check mark out there in the Twitterverse is saying that sort of thing? You know, I mean, it's not really surprising in a way with all the things out there that the journalists, as soon as, you know, the backlash hit, started writing. I figured somehow, someway, they're going to connect this to somehow the audience, the core audience that was made up of men and women, is somehow going to blame them, going, oh, well, they don't want the women's in the games. They don't want the women's playing the Diablos. When there are women playing Diablo! So who is the blue check mark with the hot take theory, the hottest take around, the one who knows what he's talking about, who doesn't actually know anything? It's somebody named Will Powers. I honestly don't know who he is, and I don't really care. But here's his hot take. Here's a hot take. The people that bash on mobile gaming are an offshoot of toxic masculinity. They get off on hating something that they've traditionally associated with a heavily female audience. And then people replying, I completely agree. And oh, that's funny. I completely agree. In what way? You just said you disagreed with providing context. I just said that I completely agree. Not disagreeing. I agree with you. Whole statement. All of it. Completely, you might say. Okay. So apparently he's picking fights with people who totally agree with him. Anyway. So, what is wrong with this? Alright, so he's going on the, it's not really an assumption. Women play primarily mobile. Or there's more women playing mobile games than there are men. That's more or less a fact at this point. There's been plenty of things that have come out, and they've gauged male versus female, blah, 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 all this other stuff. More women are likely to play on their phones. And somehow, if you don't want a mobile version of your game, it means you don't like the women's because the women's are primarily playing the phone games. And that is the most ridiculous jump in logic I have ever seen. No, people don't want to play the mobiles games because they're little transactions, microtransactions, and other things like that. And time gating and, you know, all sorts of stuff. It's like, we don't know how the monetization for Diablo Immortals is going to go, but I can just imagine this. You start up your character, you start going through, you're in Act 1. You do like half of Act 1, and it says, oh, hey, your stamina has run out. It's gonna take 30 minutes to charge up 10 stamina so you can go ahead to the next area. But hey, you could recharge it for just $2.99. That sort of thing. That is what people are worried about, is stuff like that. The game may look good. The game may play okay. It's not going to give you the, reaction time that, say, the PC or the console version is going to give you. In a game that is essentially an action RPG, where, it could take seconds for you to die if you're not paying attention. Especially when you start getting into the harder difficulties and things hit like a truck. And you've got to, mitigate the damage and heal the damage and avoid the damage while dishing out damage. Seconds mean a lot. That's why they said they aren't including hardcore mode. Because they understand, you get disconnected, which is a big thing. When games can get disconnected. I mean, I myself don't have the best phone in the world. It's a downgrade from what I used to have. But, the couple of games that I do play on there that require an active internet connection to play, quite frankly, quite often, we'll sit there and say, hey, you've been disconnected. Would you like to reconnect? And I hit the button and then loses this little thing and I'm back. And if you're playing a hardcore character, those few seconds, well, you just lost your character because he died to something, because you disconnected in the wrong spot. And Blizzard knows that, which is why they're not including the hardcore mode, because, duh. But anyway, it's not that they don't want the women's, it's all the other stuff. Mobile phones is not a viable platform for hardcore gaming. Could it be? Probably. Is it right now? Depends on the game, to be honest. But, also, if you really want to play it to its full potential, it really requires you to have additional things, like a Bluetooth controller or something, to properly play it. That's the only way, really. You top it into a dock, and it comes up on a screen that's much larger. I've seen it. There are phones out there that do that. I watched a video the other day of something about, like, the top 5 or 10 underrated phones. And there's a phone by, like, Asus that has all these peripherals to make it more gaming friendly, where you can put it onto the sides and it's like having a smaller Switch. Or you could have this controller that makes it so much better, and then the phone itself has like a right and R and an L button on its side if you turn it sideways to better access that. Has a docking port that you could buy. You dock it in and it brings it up on your computer monitor. And it's like you're playing on your computer monitor with the wireless controller. Can it run it? Yes. Is it a viable form to play? No, not without added stuff. That's why nobody really wants this. And then, the fact that it was an April Fool's joke 4 years ago to have some kind of Diablo mobile game. Yeah. But this idea that Hearthstone's a success. Diablo, why not? Why don't you want that? Well, the differences are this. Hearthstone's a card game. Hearthstone is a PC game that got ported later to a cell phone. And then, of course, they're interchangeable. Anything you do on your mobile reflects everything on your PC port, while your PC port will reflect your mobile port. And also, this way, so you play Hearthstone, maybe you stream it or whatever, and then you're off doing something, you've got to wait 30 minutes, you just bring it up and get a few games in. Or something, or, mess around with a new deck or something, you're testing it out for your stream tonight. And you've got other things to do. Yeah, it works that way. But this is a primarily mobile title with no port to the PC. Having a mobile version of Diablo, honestly, would be pretty cool. Don't get me wrong, it'd be pretty cool. However, it also has to be connected to the current PC version. Somehow, some way. Like if I could load up D3 on my phone to go run a few things or do this, that, and the other while I'm waiting for whatever, and then go home and load up D3 and everything I did on the phone, of course, is there, and I just pick up where I left off, that would be better. That would be kind of cool. That I can see fans enjoying. But anyway, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Until then, I'll talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.